On the line, it's episode number 7, and we are here with a Maryland legend. I say that respectfully.
I don't know
Welcome.
about that, but that's good.
Trust me, when I told everybody that John Ellinger was coming on the line, people are like, I've got the goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
John, welcome.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it, Priestley.
you are, when I say this, you are Maryland legend. When it comes to the coaching world, people, they really regale you. And I'm a little nervous to be sitting here with you.
Stop.
So I'm excited. Let's start with the beginning. Frostburg is where you went to college. What brought you to coaching?
Well, I got in when I went to Frostburg. It was at the time it was a teacher's college, and so part of my, because back then they had this for the state teachers colleges. If you signed an agreement to teach in the state of Maryland for 2 years, then you got tuition free. So that was an easy no-brainer. But
That's
I wanted
awesome.
to be a teacher as well because I had some teachers who were influential in my career in high school and stuff. And so I felt like I knew I wanted to coach. I enjoyed coaching. Even going through our curriculums in health and physical education at the school, you were mandatory. You had to take 2 what they call theory courses in coaching.
Got it.
So it's all part of it. And even when I did my student teaching, which was at Bell High School in Frostburg, I also was the assistant wrestling coach. And basically, it was more like the head wrestling coach, but it was like I was assistant because I wasn't a teacher in the building, but they really didn't. The head coach didn't know anything about wrestling, so it was kind of cool for me. So I got put into it right away, and that was really my first dose of coaching. Yeah, while I was still in school.
What about you in soccer? Did you play as a youth?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
We didn't even have soccer in the high school until I was a junior.
No kidding.
And I played like 10th grade intramurals in soccer, and it was kind of like, I like the sport because I had played some football and baseball and wrestled, and so. But then when I saw soccer, I said, I really enjoy this, So then my junior senior year I played it, and then I went to college and played, and so that's how I got into it. There was no youth soccer in our area in Montgomery County growing up.
It's unbelievable.
So it was basically in the ethnic areas in Baltimore City.
It's a testament to how much soccer has truly grown in our country.
It's crazy.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
I played
awesome.
as a youth all my life, and I'm really excited to see where we have grown as a nation. We still got a little bit more to go.
Yeah, we do.
We got a little bit more to go, but
do.
we're, you know what? Never give up. So what originally inspired you to pursue coaching, and what lessons from those early days still stick with you?
I felt like, getting into coaching, again, I go back to Frostburg. So I graduated early, and then I did a graduate assistantship. And so part of that was I had to do a project. My project was assistant lacrosse coach because I played lacrosse in college. I never played in high school, but my friends
Huge Maryland sport for years.
But my roommates all talked me into it, so I played. So, and then I liked it a lot, and so that I enjoyed coaching that with the coach who was one of my instructors, and I had a good relationship. So I thought about like him and his relationships, and my soccer coach with his relationships with us as players, and I felt this is kind of what I want to do. So when I got out, my first teaching gig was at White Oak Junior High in Montgomery County, and I coached the 9th grade team. So that was the start, official start.
The bug bit, and that was
it.
I could tell you are a great leader. I've seen you talking to people around here at MSYSA, and I just think that is such an incredible, important. It's just an important way to be cool-minded, ability to communicate with the kids, the parents. Yeah. It's a really difficult thing, and you do it beautifully.
Oh, thank you.
You really do. So you joined U.S. Soccer in 1990 and led the U17 national team. You've worked with some incredible players.
There's a few in those days. Yeah.
Landon Donovan, DeMarcus Beasley. I mean, both of them were captains, no?
It was actually neither one. Crazy because when I took over the team, they were U16, and so I took them over, and then because I was the new coach, and I asked the players, I said, "Do you guys want to pick new captains? Because you had captains from before." So they wanted to keep the two same captains, which was Nelson Aquari and Kenny Cutler were the two captains. And then, but yeah, they were fine. Everybody's fine with those guys. And they were kind of our captain leaderships, and DeMarcus and Landing being the stars of that team. They went along with it, and it was an interesting, how do I say it? An interesting, I guess, competition between them. Like, for example, when we were going to residency, most people didn't know this. Like, you have to deal with like how you're going to get these kids out of their current high school situations and put them into Florida, for example. So we had to take 4 of the players and put them in at IMG a semester early. So we put them in the fall, which was DeMarcus Beasley, Alex Yee, also from Maryland, and Greg Martin and Raul Rivera. Those 4 weren't going to be, their head school situations where they couldn't miss days because we would travel and stuff like that. So we put them in school, full-time school at IMG, and so we would have our camps at IMG. And so once when we got down to start the residency in that January of '99, there was all this little story, which was like, why is Marcus and Greg Martin always getting into these arguments and stuff? And so, because they've been together for a full semester, and I didn't know that they were so competitive with each other. So I learned from that moment to always put them on the same team when I was doing something in training. So it was
brilliant.
But it was so funny because like it wasn't there before the school situation, and then it became after. But kind of those kinds of things happen. And but going into residency was it was a change for all of us. You know, going into a full-time residency program at that age, and all the players, they weren't all real like receptive at first, and there were some tears, like if they were leaving their home and they would have to go, and you would think, look at that chance and what a great opportunity, and it was. But but you know, I will say kudos to that group because they bought into it right away, and they were like a brotherhood, and that's what they'll tell you.
John, those guys I've watched like during my prime of watching soccer, and they to me they're some of the greatest U.S. soccer players in history for us. Yeah. So, and when I was, they were captains for the U.S. national team.
Yes, they were.
Yes, that's what.
Yeah, that's the word.
And again, something that people on the pod don't know: my nephew is a namesake of Landon Donovan.
Really?
Really. And after the podcast, I'll show you a picture. We have an autographed jersey from Landon to Landon,
that's awesome.
I mean, we're huge fans.
Oh, he was a great player, a great. Personality, a little quiet, you know, and
which is interesting to see him now doing broadcast.
Oh, I know. Becoming a pundit, right? That's we always laugh at that. But he was, you know, he's a little quiet, but so talented and very unselfish as a player.
That. Yep, to see him play was really
very unselfish.
Pleasure. You are unselfish. You've mentored not just players but also coaches as a U.S. soccer educator. Let's talk about your approach to developing coaches. We were talking about our buddy Gandalf, and why that is equally as important as developing these incredible players as well.
I think it's huge, and it's up to us as instructors to look at the environment we're in and how do we make a change. And I feel like my job as an instructor is not to make you, Priestley, like coach like me.
Yep.
I think my job is to make this, and I tell the candidates this, our job is to make you a better version of you by giving you chances to learn and grow and do things differently, but not do it like we would do it. So I think that's the biggest thing, because I've had some, you know, I've worked with some coaches and educators who really want them to do it like how they do everything, all their sessions and stuff, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because that person's not you. It's not your you're not your makeup. So I think it's important that coaching educators basically just give the information and then make them be able to be better versions of themselves.
I love that, because we are all individuals. We are all different.
100%.
We bring something special to it, and I love that you're just coaching them in the direction to be the best coach. And that's what honestly we need.
I think we do need more of that versus, because they've got good instincts and a basis of their coaching style and everything, and based on their experiences as a player, as a coach, as a parent, and everything. So, you know, again, it's just how we as instructors can make them see that, there's lots of ways to do it. You don't have to do it our way, but just, use everything. Because part of the whole course is that they have to do like a personal development plan, which is kind of interesting. So, and you basically, where do you see yourself in 5 years in the sport? Where do you see yourself in 10 years in the sport? That kind of thing.
That.
So,
Yes. Things that we ask ourselves in
all the
career
time.
building as well. Makes a lot of sense. Moving on then to MLS. You made history as the first head coach of Real Salt Lake.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations on that. What was that like? You launched in 2005 and started from scratch. And
Started from scratch.
can relate to that because I'm doing a side project myself, creating a radio station from scratch.
Wow.
It's really hard.
It's hard.
How was that for you with soccer?
It was, ownership was very supportive. The fan base was fantastic. The problem, is, and I think the league learned a lot from our experience because we came into the league same time as Chivas came into the league, LA Chivas. And so basically they learned that you have to give more money to the teams coming in as expansion teams so they can buy more players. Since we didn't finish last, we finished above Chivas that year, my first year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we were fifth instead of sixth. Well, let's
Still,
put it that way. But
that's a win.
But it's a win. But I think part of it was, if I could do it all over again, I would if I had the opportunity to find a more a better training facility, so to speak. Because some of these clubs that are opening up now have fantastic training facilities, and I felt bad because we had to train on Rice Eccles Field, which is turf, and train and play all our games there, which was a great environment for the games because we sold it out for our home opener that first year. But that'd be the only thing. Everything else went fine. I just the fans really got into it in the Salt Lake City area, so it was huge. It was fun.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to go back and coach MLS again?
No, because after that I went. I went. I don't know if you know, but I went to Frisco when I left. I went from coach to technical director, and then left to go to be USYS technical director at Frisco. Now the Frisco office, if you've ever been out to USYS, is in it's the parking lot of FC Dallas.
Okay.
So then one of my buddies, Shellis Hyman, a good friend who coached at SMU for years, and he ended up taking the job as the head coach at FC Dallas. So I left USYS and went back in as an assistant for Shellis for 6 seasons, I guess it was, at FC Dallas. Had a blast.
What would you prefer, head or assist?
I like both.
Okay.
I like both because one thing about it is I didn't, sometimes someone meant a quote to me that, John, you need to be more of a hatchet man or what was the term they used? It was not bloodthirsty, but kind of along
the strong arm kind of
that. And I said, well, you interviewed me, I'm not that personality, so that kind of a thing. So it's not like I wouldn't have done it again if I got the opportunity to be a head coach, but this came around and I really enjoyed that because now my experiences in the league as a technical director and head coach helped Shellis and our run. And we did make it to an MLS Cup final, lost on our own goal, but at Dallas. But yeah,
it happens.
That happens.
It happens. As we say, unlucky.
Unlucky. There you go.
Unlucky, but we're lucky.
Yeah.
Because now you've retired from MLS and you are right here with us in Columbia, Howard County. You're SAC director of your technical director at SAC, and also founder for our Baltimore Armor, which is the pride.
Yes.
Of Columbia, my man. So,
no, it was
congratulations.
Fun. Thank you.
Tell us, what was the transition back like for grassroots and as opposed to playing national?
It's like before I left to go into residency, I was also working with U.S. Soccer, but I was also working with SAC.
Okay.
Back in the 90s. And so then when I went off my adventures, I call them, and then I come back, and I remember stopping in one Christmas back for the holidays, and I stopped in to say hello to Jim Carlin, who was the executive director at SAC, and he was out. And but then Sharon gave me the phone, and Jim says, "Can you meet with me and one of the board members tomorrow?" And I'm going, "Okay." And I didn't know what was all of this. So then we started talking about when are you going to be done in Dallas? And I said, "Well, I'm going into my last year." And then so we took it from there, and then I basically said, you know,
Brilliant.
I'll be happy to come back and be technical director for SAC.
Brilliant.
So it was good. My wife had already left. She got offered her government job, which, by the way, they're not getting paid. I guess they're getting paid, but they're off. I guess.
Yeah, for now.
What's going on.
At the recording time, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So then she just goes. She goes back, and so I felt like it's time to go back. I'm tired of living alone, you know, for
Yes.
4 times for a little bit of time.
Makes
so
sense.
I said, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to retire from MLS. So I did, and I came back to SAC, and I've been, you know, and happy. And one of the things was I wanted to be able to build the academy because they had started, because I was involved with our FC Dallas youth as their executive director of that. And then I just felt like, you know, take all that, coming back, and then I said, we got to start the academies. And so we started as SAC, you know, 14,
Perfect.
did that for a couple of years. And then we had a group of, I think it was us, the Bays, Pipeline, and Professional Player Academy. All
PPA.
came together, PPA, all came together and formed the Baltimore Armor. And as it developed, they just dropped out, and we just took it over from that point. That's how it worked.
It's an amazing group. Those
No, it is a good
players are phenomenal. The coaches are incredible.
Good groups.
Hats off to Baltimore Armor.
Yeah, there you go.
For sure. So it's unique at SAC how you guys, I mean, we go from rec to armor. Why is it important for a club to serve players of all abilities?
I think because it gives the good basics. If you're just doing travel, you're getting players from coming all over. You really don't have any kind of idea of what they have when they come. Really, when they try out for your team, you just find them, see how they compare to your own team, your own players that you have, and that. But I think when you know it finish from the juniors all the way up, the tots juniors all the way up to the academy, both boys and girls. There is a framework of what we're trying to do. We try and give them so much, but a lot of it for the younger ones, we still keep it fun. I know the guys that run our juniors and tots, they still keep it fun.
It's a game at the end of the day, so we got to have fun and love what we do.
Exactly. And then you get to rec, then you get rec select, and then you get into travel. And then now the academies are now, they've all added the second tier. Like the girls' academy have added Aspire, and now the boys have added MLS next, which they call the top team homegrown, and the second team called academy. So now you have 2 tiers of each age group.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Players looking to truly advance and grow in the game and hopefully find themselves on the world stage. This is the way. And MSYSA, we're all about it with like Top Soccer or Let's Play program. I mean, it's very important to find the grassroots kids who may not have that opportunity to get them on the field and be seen.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for what you're doing. So as a USSAF licensed coach, that's
pretty much it's been the top license for a long time.
But now I'm hearing is actually an even higher license.
Yeah. So now, a few years back, we kind of changed coaching education for a little bit, where we brought in a group of talented, I will say, instructors who were doing the UEFA licenses. And so now they've come over. So there were some coaches came over from the Netherlands, one from France, one from Italy. For it to be exact, those
That's
guys,
awesome.
all good people.
Wow.
And so basically, then as instructors, we would get together and they would change how it's going to go, and they basically changed the format of our coaching licenses, and to where now we have an A youth and an A senior. And so an A youth may not work for the college coach, but based on timing, whether they can get into the course and do that, or even at the time a pro coach who's involved, their schedule's a little different. So you have these 2 paths, but they all come together now, and they make one. And so now there's a pro license on top of that, and it's been in the UEFA courses forever. They have a pro license, and so. But you got to be involved really in the youth national teams or the men's national team, women's national team programs, or be in a professional environment at the time. So that's
what I
kind
find
of for that top 2%.
super cool about that is how there's international help to grow our coaching.
And we still have a few of them left that are still helping us, like Didier Chambaran. He's the gentleman from France, and I've worked with him several times, and he heads our coaching education program now. Good guy.
Thank you. I think that I say it all the time. Teamwork makes the dream work. And knowing that it's international, we need the help and we appreciate the help.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
Thank you. What do you feel then, the license, how has it shaped your approach to coaching, not just players, but coaches too?
It was big for me. I mean, I played in college, so now I'm coaching, and then I started the licensing way back. Took my B license in, hate to say it, 1978. Took my A license in 79. And
Awesome.
so, but then, it was a great experience. I learned a lot about separating like the game into components, and then trying to do, and then like they called it 4 pillars: the psychological, technical, tactical, and the physical part, and then trying to combine those pillars in your training exercises and stuff. I learned a lot. It was great. So I was excited about moving forward after I'd gone through those things.
There is so much that goes into coaching. For those who would want to start their journey in coaching, where should they begin?
You start with your local state association, and who provides opportunities to go through the basics of soccer. So it's I guess they call it grassroots.
Yep.
Yeah, call it grassroots. And then at the state level, they have all those modules, and then you go into your D license, and then from there you go to your C, B, and then you go to your whatever path you take
Then
for
you
your
continue.
A.
And MSYSA.org, we're the ones who will get you
100%.
licensed. You have taught the
many
classes.
D license way in the back before, and some C's even.
Are you still still teaching?
Yes, I've got a current course right now going on. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You can team up and maybe work with the legendary John Ellinger. And speaking of, I hate to ask this of you, but we need to talk legacy. We all kind of like,
Nah.
Somebody may ask me about legacy. I'm like, I'm not ready to even think about that. But as you look back at your career, from high school, gyms to MLS, sidelines, youth, national teams, what are you most proud of, John?
I think I'm proud of the fact I feel like I did it the right way, and I took all the steps necessary. I didn't, try and skate any avenues that would have helped me. I tried. I followed along. Now I didn't take the C license back in the day, but because I graduated college with a master's degree, so I ended up, going to be able to go straight into my B, which is the same thing our pro players now do. They can start their education thing by going into the B.
I like that.
And then, so I think it's always been thing I've been proud of, and the fact that I think I've coached at every level. I mean, I coached junior high, I coached high school, I coached junior college, I coached adults, I coached the youth, I coached college, professionally, and I feel like all those experiences have made me who I am.
Well, as a former player, I just want to say thank you, because there are some coaches who are average, there are some who are below average, and then there are some who are elite, like you, who are an inspiration for young coaches who want to step up and be that leader and help these kids. You're awesome.
Thanks, Priestley.
No, thank you. So what advice would you give to young coaches or players listening who dream of one day making an impact on the game?
Yeah, it's, I think, continue along your soccer path. The thing I like is that we have coaches are players who have left our club, and they come back. They've played in college. We have 2, for example, Justin Harris and who's the other? Amir. I can't ever say Amir's last name, but he played at ODU. Justin played at Maryland, and they're back now. Starting, both of them started last year as young coaches within the club. This year they were assistant coaches last year. Now they're head coaches, so they're giving back. I love the fact that these players that even elite players that have gone through our program come back and they help out at the various levels, and I think that's fantastic.
Soccer, once it's in your blood,
Yeah,
it is in your blood for life.
yeah, I know. Our wives probably don't like that fact, but
No,
it's there.
but it just is what it is. And players, there is so much for you to give back after your game, like
100%.
whether you're coaching or you're supporting or you're working for the state and helping to mentor the future. It really is. It's such a beautiful game. So if you could, I choke on this, be remembered for one thing in your coaching career, what would it be?
Oh,
These are the hardest questions to
I know.
ask. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm proud of, like, coaching wise, not the fact that I made it to MLS and all that stuff. The accomplishments of my SAC team, winning 2 national championships, and this elite group of players that I had for that first under-17 team that was 4th in the world. Amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So amazing. that I'm proud of.
Wow. And I'm grateful because, again, I watched those boys go and play and execute some of the best soccer our country has ever played.
Good.
It was so cool.
It was fun.
Thank you, Coach. So then if you could be remembered for one thing in your coaching career, what would it be?
Oh.
Right? Heavy.
Yeah. There's a lot. I think basically taking my experiences as a coach, and if this makes any sense, applying it to coaching education as a coaching educator. I knew when I'd gone through, it's crazy, when I went 78, 79, I went through those licenses, I said, I want to do this one day, what they're doing. So.
And you did it.
And I did it.
Fist bump on that one.
All right.
All righty. Now we've created this new thing at the end of our podcast here at On the Line. It's called Priestley's Quick Kick. We're just going to rapid fire some questions at you, and whatever comes to your mind. Oof. Favorite player you've ever coached and why?
Landon Donovan. Just made it simple. He was just eons ahead of the players that, I shouldn't say eons, but he just made it. My first experience was the first time I had him in camp. We were playing some games, and I'm watching this young kid, 16 years old. He's got the ball at his feet, and he's running away from international players. We're playing against Mexico, Germany, in this event, and it's like he's running away with the ball. I'm going, I have not seen that before. Where the guy with the ball is just outrunning international level youth players, and I'm thinking, like, this is fantastic. So yeah, he was a pleasure to work with.
So you really saw some special talent in that kid.
Special.
Nice. All right. Who's one coach, past or present, you'd love to sit down and talk the game with?
Well, it's I think the one that had the most inspiration on my coaching career was Bob Gansler,
Who's Bob? I'm not familiar.
Bob was he played for our national team back in the day. He was a coaching educator, and he coached our national team in '90 in the World Cup.
Wow.
And he's the one that had confidence in me to make me the national B team coach, the second. So I just feel like, I was always inspired by Bob, and so I could sit down and chat with him about soccer anytime.
Was that when the World Cup was here in the U.S.?
It was, he coached the 90, which was in Italy.
It was Italy. Okay.
94, which was in the U.S.
You brought me back to 94 because I actually got to go to a couple of games as a little one. Such a pleasure. I can't wait for the next round.
Me either. I think it's awesome.
Bring it. Okay. Toughest player or team you've ever faced as a coach at any level?
We did really well with the under-17s in the 99 World Cup. And so in 2001, the sad note was we were there in Trinidad and Tobago, when 9/11 happened. But the team that we faced in our group, and it's unfortunate for us that we had both teams that made the final that year were in our group. So it was France and Italy. So France, to me, was the best youth team I'd ever coached against. They were fun. They had two, I want to say it was Telek and Sanama, I forget how you say his last name, but they were both signed by Liverpool already, and they're coming in, and they were just fantastic. And we had a great game with them. We lost 5-3, but it was it was a great game. So they're really because we had some good players on that team.
We are coming from behind as a country, and to be able to compete at that level, I mean, again, that's a win in my mind. Yeah. I'm a positive guy, and I like
that.
I like to find the wins. So, all right, this is a really tough question. Who's a rising Maryland coach we should all be keeping an eye on? Ooh, because there's a lot.
Yeah. I always think, give kudos to Santino Caranta.
Who's he coaching for?
He coaches in Pipeline. He's one of the owners of Pipeline.
Nice.
And because I think, his experiences as a pro player, national team player, and when he coached for us in Baltimore Armor before they started their club, and where they already had their club, but he coached at least in 1 year, I could see he can make a difference,
Nice.
And so I throw Santino out there, but we've got some other coaches in our club that do well. I mean, Mike Lucaland's doing great. He's a former pro player, and then because he's always producing good players. And then, although the guy that's going to replace me as technical director when I retire, Aki Lake, he's an excellent coach as well.
Love Aki.
Yeah.
Shout out Aki.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Aki's is a great young coach, and hope I know he's going to have to take over my duties and stuff, so I hope he has opportunities to coach, because he's got a lot to give.
Thank you for all you do, Coach Aki. Yeah. He's a bud for sure.
He's good.
And thank you for all you have done.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
This has been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, John Ellinger. Thank you.
Thanks, Piersley.
Friends, give it up one more time for the legend, John Ellinger. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your expertise in growing the beautiful game. If you are interested in becoming a coach, MSYSA.org. We have all the information. We're looking for good humans just like John Ellinger. You think you got what it takes? Bring it. MSYSA.org. Thank you for checking out On the Line.